guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Allison. I'm 28 years old. I work in healthcare and I like to post a lot of content about my personal finances, debt payoff journey, and just lifestyle content as well. Today's video is a part of my series about how I'm budgeting my paycheck as a healthcare worker and as someone who gets paid bi-weekly. Yeah, this kind of content is very interesting to me. I like watching other people's and I enjoy posting my own as well. It helps keep me on track, on budget, and also helps me reach some of my goals faster. So I'm big into money and keeping track of everything and what I spend. I find it very helpful. Let's get started. This video is for the paycheck that I got on May 31st. So typically what I do is just take that paycheck and I look at everything that I need to budget for between May 31st and then June 13th, which is like the next pay period. Interesting thing about this paycheck is that it's technically the third paycheck in the month of May, because if you get paid bi-weekly, you know that twice a year there are 2 months that you get paid 3 paychecks just because of the way that it falls. So this was one of those months, which we love. This paycheck is going to be broken down a little bit differently than some of my other ones. Not really, actually. When I look at it, it's really not that much different. I didn't have to save for rent in this paycheck, so that kind of freed up some extra money for me. So yeah, we'll go through and see how I budgeted and where I used that extra money. So my income for this pay period was $2,306, and that is like post-tax, all my 401k, insurance, all that stuff comes out. This is my take-home pay. And then I'm not sure how much I had left in my checking account. Usually I have at least something left in there. I think I had like $30 maybe left in my checking account. Usually I just kind of add that back in to use towards my budget, but oh, actually I had legit like $0 left in my checking account from last pay period. That usually doesn't happen, but we're just using $2,306 as my number to budget off of. So because I didn't have to save for rent, the first thing that I'm putting money towards is the wedding. So we pretty much have everything paid for at this point. The only thing I think that I need to pay for is the rest of the catering, and I'm very grateful that my parents are helping us pay for that. The rest of the money that I'm saving from like the next 2 paychecks is gonna be for just like tip money for the vendors and maybe a couple like anything else that might come up, but mainly just tip money for the vendors. So yeah, I'm putting that just in my regular regular savings account so that I can just quickly transfer and like take out cash, and then we're gonna put it in some envelopes and just give it to our vendors. Saving $450 for the wedding, and then I did also still put $50 towards my Roth IRA. That just automatically, like I have that set up through my like direct deposit, so that just goes into that account. I'm probably never gonna touch that unless I'm gonna increase it, obviously. I just like to keep that number so that I'm slowly at least investing a little bit towards that. Like obviously I have my main 401k, but this is a Roth IRA, and so it's just an individual extra retirement account that you can put like already taxed money into, so that when you're retired you can have extra money that you can take out. I do like to put at least $50 in there. I'd like to put more, but obviously I have a lot going on right now that I can't put more in there. I think to get to the max, which is $7,000 per year, like you'd have to put in maybe $250 per paycheck. So I do hope to eventually maybe get to the point where I can do that once I have a lot of my debt paid off. And we obviously are hoping to buy a house within the next year. So once we know what our mortgage payment is and like bills and stuff, like potentially I could put more in there, but I don't even know. Like that sounds so scary, because honestly with all the bills and stuff that are probably gonna come up, then I probably won't have the extra money, but it's fine. So I at least would like to put that much towards the Roth IRA forever and just like have it be part of my budget. We're just doing what we can do right now, you know? Speaking of house, obviously we have a lot going on right now, but I do still really want to prioritize saving for a house because it's very important to me, and that's our next big like goal, is to buy a house. So no matter what, even though like I have debt, most of it's at 0% interest, I do still want to save for a house, because yeah, like it'd be great, I always say this in my videos, yeah, it'd be great to pay off my debt faster, but I also still feel like there's no right or wrong way to do anything. Like I do still want to buy a house, so I'm gonna still save a little bit as I can for a down payment for a house. Anyway, long story short, I ended up saving $125 towards our like house fund. I have that sitting in a high yield savings account just so that I can gain some interest while it's sitting there. In the grand scheme of things, it's like, okay, well, I'm gonna pay off my debt, but then we're gonna get a mortgage and I'm still gonna be in debt. Like no matter what, I'm gonna be in debt. So I still think, whatever, do whatever you want with your money. Like that's my take on it. Like as long as you're kind of smart and like you have a plan and things make sense for you and your family, do whatever you want. There's no right or wrong way to do anything, you know? It's whatever works for you. It's whatever gonna make you happy. There's like obviously smarter decisions, less smart decisions with money, but I don't know. I just feel like there's no cookie cutter way that things are going to be perfect, because no matter what too, like things can happen, things can come up, you can lose your job, you can come into a ton of money, like there's so many things that could happen. I've learned this the hard way too, like throughout my life. Like you can't plan everything down to the year, the day, the whatever. Things aren't going to turn out the way that you think they're going to. Like as much as you can plan it, life happens, things happen. I know that these certain things are important to me, they're gonna make me happy. I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do, and I don't care what anybody else has to say. Like I post this on the internet, yes, people are gonna comment on whatever they wanna comment on. This is my life, these are my finances. I don't really care what anyone else has to say. So, sorry, I don't know why I just went on a rant like that. I just want people to know that there's no perfect right or wrong way to spend your money and save your money and do whatever you want. Basically, what I'm trying to say is I am saving for a house, even though I have credit card debt. The next thing that we always save money for is groceries. Maybe about a year ago now, we decided to have like a grocery account. We are going to fully combine our finances, or at least partially combine our finances once we get married. I think once I finally legally change my name, because that might be easier once we start setting up bank accounts and stuff. It just makes so much sense instead of being like, okay, you pay this bill and you pay that bill, and it's so silly. Then we had to buy the fridge. I bought the fridge. He pays the phone bill. So now like every month we're trying to like figure out like, oh, do I owe you money? Do we like, I'm sick of it. We're tired of it. Like it's our money anyway. Like once we get married, like especially for appliances, like things like the fridge, it just makes more sense because it's something that we're buying together. It should just be like our money. So combining our finances is definitely gonna be really helpful for us. It's I think gonna take me some time to figure out, because I am so on top of my finances, and like I'm a big budgeter, and like I do all of this every month for years. Like I've broken down everything. So figuring out the new norm and the new flow of our finances, I think is going to be hard for me, but I think it's definitely necessary for us, and I think it'll be good for us. And then also when we get a house, it just makes way more sense to be like, okay, this is the mortgage payment, these are our bills, instead of again trying to figure out how much money we owe each other or who's paying what, like to make it even. Like it seems really silly and just a lot of extra work. So we're not going to do that. But anyway, first kind of step that we took to sort of combine our finances was at least groceries. Again, it was getting annoying being like who was paying for what or splitting the groceries. So we made an account, and then we both put money in there every paycheck. I put $100 in this account, he puts $100 in this account, and then we have like a debit card that we use just for groceries, other things for the house. So also during this pay period, I will pay our internet bill, and that's $51, so I budget for that. Again, this is like another one where like I'm paying the internet, he's paying the phone. Like it's just gonna be so much easier when we just have one account that the majority of our bills come out of, because it's gonna make so much more sense. And then also all my other subscriptions that are coming out during this pay period. So if we run through those real quick, I have a Hulu account that is $7.99, my Hatch alarm clock, which is $4.99, Aura Ring subscription is $6.35, Netflix $15.49, and Apple is $2.99. And then I had a couple subscriptions that were on my Apple card. So it just hooks up to the Apple Pay or whatever. I had Canva subscription, which was $14.99, and then I think I got the CapCut subscription because I wanted certain sounds and stuff for editing and whatever, so that was $9.99. So anyway, all my subscriptions together came to $73, which can definitely be cut down, I think. At the beginning of the year, I went through all my subscriptions and either downgraded some of them or canceled some of them. I feel like it's getting a little bit out of control again. Like $73 for subscriptions is crazy. It's also hard when you're a content creator because you do want these extra things, like Canva has extra fonts or extra backgrounds. Like when you have Canva Pro, you can use all these extra features, same with CapCut. So you want to use them, and then when you do start using them, you want to continue using them, so then you have to continue paying for it every month, and it's annoying. That is the struggle of being a content creator. The next thing is my pets. My beautiful, beautiful cats. I have budgeted $81 for them because I think during this pay period I'm gonna have to buy cat food and cat litter, and it just gets auto-delivered every couple weeks. So that should be coming towards the end of next week. The next expense is my car insurance. Car insurance is awful. I only had to recently start paying for my own car insurance, by the way, which I know I'm lucky. I'm 28 years old and I've only been paying for my own car insurance for like the last few months. For me, that's $170 a month, which I think is insane. I don't know if that's normal or not. Like, I really don't. I probably could shop around and try to get some lower rates, but I don't really know. If anybody does know, let me know if I'm overpaying for car insurance. And then my credit card. This is where I've been really trying to focus and pay down my credit card. I have two that currently hold a balance because one I've been putting on some of the wedding stuff, and the other one is my balance transfer card that I've just been like, it's at 0% interest, so I'm trying to pay it down, but like it's okay if I don't, like I just pay the minimum and like I don't get any interest on that card. So I am gonna focus on that one after I pay off all the stuff for the wedding. So again, these are very specific numbers just because I like to pay them down to an even number when I do make these large payments. So on the one credit card, I put $508, and that's the one for like that I've been putting some of the wedding stuff on. And then I did put $100 onto my other balance transfer card. So yeah, it felt good to make those payments and get those down. Again, that is like sort of my main focus now. After the wedding, I'll have one more paycheck before the wedding, so obviously I'm going to save some more money for the wedding from that paycheck, and then after that I should have a lot of extra free money going around, and that's just going to pay off these credit cards and I'm going to be done with it. Also, hot news, I haven't mentioned this anywhere on any of my social media yet. My videographer did cancel on us for the wedding. I just found out this morning, 3 weeks before the wedding, so that's a little frustrating, but I'm getting the money back. I better get the money back. She said she's gonna refund me for the money that I paid already. So that, I think I used my one credit card for when I paid her, because I'm using the credit card for a lot of these things to get the points for travel. If I get the refund, which I should, and I will literally annoy the shit out of her until I do get the refund, that will pretty much pay off my one credit card that I've been using for the wedding stuff. So honestly, I'm not that upset about it. Like, it's gonna work out because then basically the wedding's paid for and I don't have to worry about it. But it is frustrating on the one end because like obviously it would have been nice to have the footage and the memories from like a wedding videographer standpoint. We have a photographer obviously, but in the grand scheme of things, it was like, it seemed a little too good to be true. I wasn't even 100% sure that I was gonna do a videographer from the beginning. The only reason I chose her was because her prices were so good. So at the end of the day, I'm not that worried about it. I'm not that upset about it or stressed. I'm actually happier that I'm just getting my money back, because again, then that one credit card is just completely paid off and I can just focus on the balance transfer one. You heard it here first, no videographer for the wedding. Last few things from this paycheck. I am trying to put a little bit extra towards my car loan every single month as well, just because that does have an interest rate versus like the credit card doesn't have an interest rate. So it's like, it's hard because the credit card is a lower balance but no interest. The car has a higher balance but has an interest rate. So I'm like stuck between what to do, because a lot of people would focus on one thing, I think, and pay that off. And then, is it like the snowball method or whatever, and then use all the extra money towards the other thing? I don't know. I don't know what I want to do. I just want to kind of try to pay off both of them as I go, and like if I can put extra towards the car, that's great. There's no rules. Like I said earlier, there's no rules. You can do whatever you want. This is how I'm choosing to do it so that I can save some interest on the car while I'm paying down my credit card. It is what it is. You make your own rules, honestly. I put $100 towards my car loan, and that was extra. I already made my car payment last pay period, so this was extra towards my car. And then the very last thing that I'm saving for is I'm getting my teeth whitened for the wedding, and that's actually Tuesday. I think I'm getting that done. So I'm really excited, and I already know that that's gonna cost $500, but I think it's worth it. I'm very self-conscious about my teeth, and they are a little bit yellow, so I'm excited to get that done so I can feel my best and look nice, have a nice smile. So I did know, I've had that booked for a few months, so it's like, again, I like doing that, and this is something that I've been trying to do this year, is when I know that I have something be coming up that's a big expense, I can save for it in advance instead of like normally what I would do is just kind of impulse spend or impulse buy, and then it's on the credit card. I knew that I needed to save for that, so I saved $150 for my teeth whitening. That was everything from this paycheck. That total, when you add all of that up, comes to $1,956. Then what I'll do is take that and subtract that from the money that was my income, and that leaves me with roughly $350. I left it a little higher this time than I normally do because last paycheck I ended up at like $0. I think I had literally $1 left in my checking account. So I just wanted to be a little more cautious and leave myself just a little bit of extra wiggle room for anything that comes up during these 2 weeks, especially with the wedding coming up. So I left myself with $350, and that also is all my gas money as well. I budget roughly $160 for gas for 2 weeks because I drive a lot for work. So that's why I also leave that money a little bit higher, because 350 minus 160, that leaves me with about $190 for the 2 weeks. Unfortunately, I always say like hopefully I won't spend that much money, but I probably will. Upcoming couple weeks probably will, just because I'm trying to get everything settled, and like I'm still buying little things. Like I had to buy a couple photos that I'm printing out, these little cards with QR codes on them for around the wedding. I don't know, and I know that there's gonna be other little things that I'm gonna need to buy. That is everything. That's how I budget my paycheck. Whether you like it or not, that's how I do it. I don't know, I just think it's fun to go over this stuff with everyone, and also again, like I said, it helps me keep myself on track, myself on budget. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and we'll see you in the next one.